Hi guys, my name is Aurora. I'm a yoga teacher at USC Leiden, and today I'm going to share with you 3 different breathing techniques or pranayama exercises that you can do at home. They're really easy practices and they can really help you to slow down, to release stress, to reduce anxiety, and most of all, to have that moment to fully come to yourself, to fully focus upon yourself. The 3 breathing exercises that I'm going to share with you today. First of all, it is what I would like to call "Where is my breath?", which is a breathing exercise that helps you to become aware of where there is maybe tension around those areas that you use to breathe. The second one is count your breath. In other words, we're going to count our inhales and our exhales, so the inhalations and exhalations. And by counting your breaths, you will also notice if you're maybe breathing really fast or if you are slowing yourself down altogether. The third one that I'm going to share with you is called Nadi Shodhana, or alternate nostril breathing, which is a pranayama exercise that I personally really love and like. But before we're going to start with these 3 exercises, I'm going to share with you a couple basic things that I want to share in advance because I don't want to disturb our practice later on. So when you're ready, come and sit in a seated position that is comfortable. Most important is that your knees are lower than your hips, which means maybe sitting on top of a pillow, on top of a yoga block, or maybe just sitting on the couch or on a chair, as long as the back is as straight as possible, can help to create more space for the belly. Why can we not have those knees floating in the air? Because when the knees are floating in the air and are not supported, we will create tension around the pelvic floor, around the hip flexors here as well, which will also mean that we're going to cramp up a bit more in the belly because we have those legs hanging here. So if you notice that your knees come a little bit higher up and you're already sitting on top of something, grab something to support your knees by, or come and sit on a chair. You can always sit a little bit more on the front of the chair, both feet firmly down into the ground. So once you found your comfortable seated position, we're going to start with the first couple of basics. So the basic thing, number 1, I want to start with is our inhalation. Our inhalation is just as important as our exhalation. When we breathe in, we fill our body up with air, and when we exhale, we let it go. Most important thing in all 3 exercises that we're going to do is that you only start exhaling as soon as you notice that you reach that full inhalation. So whenever you're breathing in, don't start exhaling when you are halfway through that inhalation. Other way around, don't start inhaling if you notice that there is still air left in your belly. This is a difficult thing to do, and especially in the beginning, maybe you notice that you are struggling a little bit with this. It doesn't matter. Just see if you can follow your full inhalation, and only once you reach the peak of the inhalation, your belly, your chest, it's all full, your lungs are full, you can't put any more air in there, only then you're gonna exhale. So that's the first basic step that I want to give you before we're gonna start with our 3 exercises. The second basic step that I want to share with you is what we call breath retention, also known as kumbhaka. Kumbhaka is not the same as holding the breath, which is actually something that is quite often used to explain what kumbhaka actually is. Yeah, that's when you hold your breath. Holding your breath is something different than breath retention, insofar that when we say kumbhaka, it means that we're not breathing. So we're not breathing in and we're not breathing out, but we're not holding our breath. In other words, you can do a kumbhaka at the end of your inhalation, and you can do kumbhaka at the end of your exhalation. This is a little bit more of an advanced practice, so maybe it's not the option you want to take today, but I do want to share it with you, especially if you do more meditation with breathing exercises with pranayama. Know that I will give the option later, but know that you don't have to do it if you notice that you get really dizzy or if you feel that you have low blood pressure and you're about to faint. Please don't do it then. Another important note I want to make before we're going to start with our 3 practices is that if you are pregnant, don't do Nadi Shodhana in the way I will explain it later. If you want to know more about pranayama during pregnancy, please let me know either by commenting in the comments or sending an email to USC Leiden, because that's not something I'm going to cover in this video. But there are other breathing practices you can do when you're pregnant. Same thing goes if you're not feeling okay during the practice. So you have, for example, the feeling that you're going to hyperventilate, which means that you're probably not fully exhaling or probably not fully inhaling, but cutting it somewhere when you're not fully done with that inner exhalation, then please just come out of that pranayama exercise, take some breaths, notice what is going on for yourself before maybe trying it again or maybe not trying it again today. So are you ready? We're going to start with number 1. So our first exercise, or first breathing exercise that I want to share with you today is called Where is my breath? I'm actually not sure if this exercise has a particular name, but it's something that helps me to really notice where the tension is around the lungs. It's sometimes referred to as the yogic breath or the 3-step yogic breath, but it's not completely the same as what I want to share with you today, and that's why I said I'm not particularly sure if there is a specific name for the way I will explain it to you today. What we're going to do first of all is finding that position, maybe you're already in it, finding that position where you have space for your belly to move, where your legs are comfortable, so either supported, maybe you're sitting a bit higher, or maybe you're sitting on a chair with your feet down. And then from there we're going to roll the shoulders all the way towards the ears, moving it back. You're going to tuck your tailbone in just a little bit, so not that you end up like this, but also not that you're over extending here and creating this full hollow back. We're somewhere there in the middle. The chest is open, shoulder blades are slightly towards each other, but not fully, so not all the way. Here in the middle, open chest, placing the back of the hands on your legs. If you want to use a mudra, so a hand gesture, go for it, do it. I will not show it in this practice here today, but always feel free to choose a mudra if you notice it enhances your practice. And from there, we're going to close our eyes. If you notice that closing your eyes feels a bit weird, or you notice that you get uneasy when fully closing your eyes, you can always open the eyes a little bit, gazing through your eyelashes, finding a point that isn't moving. Starting here with noticing if you're fully breathing in, and only at the end of your inhalation you can move towards that exhalation. And apart from fully breathing in and out, we're not changing the rhythm of our breath. We don't put in any breath retention or kumbhaka. We're just observing where the breath is going towards. Important here to soften the lower jaw, releasing tension and releasing the muscles around the lower jaw also helps the throat and the chest, most of all the diaphragm, to release. Which means that we can breathe deeper, we can move those lungs further down towards the belly. And maybe you want to use your focus, your concentration, your attention here to follow your inhalation. And follow your exhalation. In through the nose and out through the nose. Placing one hand on your belly and one hand on your chest. Moving your awareness towards the hand that is on the chest. And noticing if the chest is moving. Bringing your focus towards your belly, towards the hand that is on the belly. And noticing here if that hand is moving. Every time you inhale and every time you exhale. And if you notice that the diaphragm is tense today, so mainly the chest is moving and the belly is maybe not moving at all or only just a little bit, then see if you can bring your focus towards your lower jaw again. Releasing the muscles around the lower jaw so there is some space between the teeth. Moving your hand further down to the lower part of your belly. The other hand stays on your chest. And noticing if you can move your breath all the way towards your hand that is on the lower part of your belly. Still, if you notice that maybe this isn't working here in this moment, take your time to release more and more by just focusing upon the hands without judgment if your breath doesn't want to move down. If there are any thoughts that are trying to distract you, see if you can bring your focus from those thoughts back to how your breath is moving through the nose, the throat, towards the chest and maybe even further down towards the belly, the lower part of the belly. And maybe you want to stay here, especially if you notice that the breath is not yet fully down towards the hand and the belly. See if you can keep your focus on that hand that is on the belly, moving the breath down. Or from here, moving both of your hands towards your lower back, pointing the fingers down and placing your hands on either side of your spine on the lower back. Notice that when you're breathing, shoulders staying low, it is maybe not just the chest and the belly that is moving, but the lower back as well. Our lungs are really big, and the more we release around the diaphragm, the more space the lungs can use to fill themselves with air. Full inhalations and only exhaling when you notice that you can't inhale any further. See if you want to stay here or if you want to bring your hands on your belly, one hand on your belly, one on your chest, or placing the back of the hands down onto the legs. With your full focus on that in and exhalation, we're going to move from the where is my breath to the counting of the breath. Continuing your in and exhalation without judgment. Continuing your in and exhalation without judgment. And from there, the next time you inhale, start counting your inhalation. Releasing on your exhalation. If you're not sure how to do this, see if you want to follow in my rhythm today. If not, return to your own rhythm. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. 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 Continuing in your own breathing tempo from here. And maybe you notice that 4 counts in your inhalation and 4 counts in your exhalation is already quite enough to practice with for now. Maybe you notice you had to adjust your inhalation, or maybe you had to adjust your exhalation. And what we're doing here is creating an inhalation that is just as long as that exhalation. There are different ways of going about counting your breaths. You can create a longer exhalation, which we will do in a moment. Or you can go for evening out the in and exhalation, and maybe later on the kumbhaka as well. But this needs practice. So when you're not used to do this, then maybe don't choose that full kumbhaka today. Before we're gonna move to that option, we first gonna move to a little bit of a longer exhalation. So taking a real deep breath in here and a full deep breath out. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Continuing in your own breathing tempo. And in a moment, we're gonna create a little bit of a longer exhalation, counting to 8. So when you're ready, taking the deep inhalation here. Exhale fully. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last one, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Continue in your own breathing tempo. Noticing here if your exhalation continues to be maybe a bit longer than your inhalation. But also here notice If you maybe want to return to a shorter exhalation, maybe leveling that in an exhalation in so far that they are roughly of the same length. Because from this one, we're going to move into the third breathing exercise, which is Nadi Shodhana. And I will give the option for Kumbhaka at the end. We're going to take Kumbhaka no further than 2 counts. Because putting more counts in Kumbhaka actually requires more practice with these pranayama exercises. Today we will build Nadi Shodhana up for 4-4, which means 4 counts inhalation, 2 counts Kumbhaka, and 4 counts exhalation. But before we're gonna count, first going to get ready for Nadi Shodhana. So for Nadi Shodhana, you're going to place 2 fingers on your third eye, so in between the eyebrows. We're going to place our thumb against one nostril, and you can take either your pinky or your ring finger against the other nostril. You can combine this closing of one nostril at a time, and in Kumbhaka later on closing both nostrils with a mudra. So again, if there is a certain mudra that you use during Nadi Shodhana, feel free to do so. Otherwise, 2 fingers in between your eyebrows, 1 finger on your left nostril, your thumb on your right nostril. If you're using your right hand, of course, if you're using your left hand, your thumb is going to be on the other side. From there, you can always see if you maybe want to join 2 of your fingers. For example, for Chin Mudra with the index finger and the thumb together. And from there, straightening out the spine again, making sure you're not gonna hang here. Because once we start to hang, and this goes for all deep breathing exercises, you're actually gonna compress that space where we actually want to have space to breathe. So for now, see if you maybe want to take a look first, or if you already want to join me here, closing your eyes. So what we're going to do is we're going to breathe in through both nostrils, making sure your back is straight and long, exhaling through both nostrils. Closing the right nostril, breathing in through the left nostril. Close left, open right, breathing out through your right nostril. Breathing in through the right nostril. Close right, open left, breathing out through the left nostril. Breathing in left. Close left, open right, breathing out. Breathing in right. Close right, open left, breathing out. Breathe in left. Close left, open right, breathe out. Breathing in right. Close right, open left, breathe out. We're going to add our counting. Breathing in left, 2, 3, 4, close and open, 2, 3, 4. In right, 2, 3, 4, close and open, 2, 3, 4. In left, 2, 3, 4, close and open, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4, close and open, 2, 3, 4. Continue here. in your own breathing tempo. And whenever you notice later on when you're doing this practice, you want to add an extra count to your in and your exhalation, you can do so. For now, first experience what this is doing here. Next time, you're breathing out through the left. See if you can open both nostrils. Just breathe through both of them for a moment, keeping your fingers in between the eyebrows. We're gonna add kumbhaka, which means that we're gonna count 1, 2 at the end of our inhalation before we exhale. So it's not the same as holding your breath, it's just stop to breathe before you exhale. So when you're ready, closing right, keep left open, breathe in, 2, 3, 4, close left, 2, open right, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, close both, 2, open left, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, close, 2, open, 2, 3, 4, in right, 2, 3, 4, close, 2, and open, 2, 3, 4. Continuing here with your own count. And of course, whenever you notice that you maybe want to add an extra count, so count to 5, keeping those 2 breaths in kumbhaka, you can practice here with this breath. Continuing here for as long as you feel comfortable. Maybe going from 5 to 5 to 6 to 6. Maybe taking around 5 of these breaths with each of that counting combination. I will leave you with your practice here so you can find that space and freedom to continue Nadi Shodhana. And whenever you're ready, whenever you're done, you're gonna release both of your hands. You're gonna place them on your legs. You're gonna just sit there with your eyes closed a little bit longer. And only when you're ready, you're going to finish your practice for yourself with a namaste to yourself. I'm going to take my leave from you now. Continue with your practice. Thank you for joining. Namaste.